My friends, what is going on? Well, it's a ooga booga freaking kind of day, isn't it? So, big news today. GameStop came out, announced their big 4-to-1 split. If you've been following me for a while, this is the number that I always said it was going to be. I always said it was either going to be a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1 split. Lots of people talked about it being a 7-to-1 split. I never agreed with that. I thought that didn't make sense. I always thought a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1 split made the most sense. It turns out it's going to be a 4-to-1 split. I think that's the best split that they can possibly do. So I wanted to get in here and discuss a little bit about what I think is going to happen moving forward. Take a little bit of look at the charts. Before we do all of that, though, you guys know the deal. Nothing I say is going to be financial advice. Everything I'm doing is to educate and empower you so that way you can make the best decisions in the trade that you possibly can for you, your portfolio, and your family. So like I said, at the end of the day, always stress doing what is best for you. Don't just follow my lead or any other YouTuber or anything along those lines. Do what's best for you. Also, shameless plug, please follow me on Twitter, Colin_Gladman. Easiest way to send me DMs, ask me questions. Also, to getting intraday updates or news that I think is important, anything along those lines. Okay. And last but not least, do the deal, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I really do. So, having said that, let's jump into some of the charts in the channel. So let's start with AMC first. So honestly, AMC played out today pretty much what I thought would take the rest of the week. So if you watched my video yesterday, I called that we would come up here, we would test the 0.5 again. That would push us down to the 0.618, right around that $12 area. We didn't even get down here towards this trend line. Now, what we want to see for AMC to start feeling bullish and start feeling good again is we want to make sure that we get above this level right in here. Okay, so where we kind of sort of little mini bear flag, if you will, and then we dumped out of that. So we need to kind of get over this $12.78 level. I was looking at after hours. Obviously, you guys know the deal. And what I tweeted out earlier, a rising tide lifts all boats. If GameStop really stops ripping and going, that is going to help. Yeah, AMC finished at $12.64 after hours. So if GameStop really starts moving because of this, that's going to help, all the other meme stocks. I'm also in Bed Bath & Beyond, and that one started moving after hours. There was an insider that bought a bunch of shares and everything along those lines. Obviously, Ryan Cohen heavily invested in that. So it's going to help all the meme stock baskets, if you will. So for AMC, next little mini resistance is going to be getting over this kind of $12.78 level. And then, of course, then we've got the $12.90 level. If we get a nice clean break over that, then that could send us up to the $13.67, so on and so forth. Please go watch my video yesterday if you have questions over the levels. So we came up here. We failed to retest. 618 came into play. If we start curling down from here, we'll either test the 618 again. We've got our trend line, or of course the golden pocket here. During intraday, if we dip below this trend line or anything like that, kind of make that U shape coming up and out. We just don't want to see like a daily close. If we see a daily close below this trend line, we definitely want that next day to be up back inside the trend line. So one day is not the end of the world, but if we see a downside continuation, once again, that continuation line is coming from our low back over here on that May 11th area. Once again, making the higher lows is what we're going to be looking for. Now, let's jump over here into Can't Stop, Won't Stop, GameStop. This is the weekly chart. I tweeted this out Saturday or Sunday, and I was like, dude, this weekly chart looks fire. In fact, I just retweeted it on my Twitter page. Yeah, July 2nd. I said, this weekly chart does look fire. And it does, okay? It's forming a nice pennant. We've got our weekly lows here where we've got nice touch points. Every time we've hit this trend line, we've gotten some nice reaction points. We never close below this trend line. And then same thing with the bear trend line. So right now we're forming essentially like the world's biggest bull flag. If I was looking at this and there's like a 5-minute chart, I would be looking at coming up here, consolidating, moving around before breaking to the upside. Now this is, somewhat of a neutral, okay? Typically these type of pennants and formations the rule of thumb is they're going to break the same direction that they came in. So, for instance, because it came into the pennant this way, rule of thumb would say we're going to also break out going the same way as well. Just kind of like a bear pennant is if you come down and it bounces around in a triangle, it's more than likely going to break down. Now, once again, not always, but like I said, TA is not a crystal ball. TA gives you your most likely things that can happen, and that's what I deal in. I deal in most likelies. So I tweeted out, oh man, I don't even know when it was. Also, too, on GameStop, that it was getting to some critical levels right here. So what I was talking about was right here. This was kind of GameStop's demand area, okay? Up here at the top, right around like the 145 area, that was going to be its supply. And so that's what you always want to locate. You want to locate supply and demand areas, and it's trading in that range. If it broke below the supply, which is what I tweeted out this morning, I was telling my Discord guys, we need to look if this breaks below this. Excuse me, sorry guys, still been a little sick. If it breaks below this demand area, then it's pretty much got a clear path all the way back down here to about the $99 range. And so we were going to be looking at loading some puts if that happened. Now, fortunately, that didn't happen. We got to a really important spot on the chart. We had some big news come out. And now GameStop finished up at 127, I think is what I saw. Yeah, so up over 10 points, 10 and a half points in after hours. Now, the good news is so the GameStop split, how it's going to work is 4-1. So let's say I hold 100 shares of GameStop. After the split is finalized, that 100 shares is going to turn into 400 shares. Now, it also means the price is going to be divided by 4. So let's just say, hypothetically, the price is $100 when the split goes into effect. Then the next day you would wake up, and I believe it was July 18th. I'll be honest, guys, I haven't been able to read a ton about it. So as more information comes out, or if more information comes to me, do your own DD, do your own research, everything along those lines. I know for sure it's a 4-1 split, and I believe I saw that the special dividend is going to be for every 1 share. You're going to get an additional 3 shares, I believe is what it was. But once again, don't quote me on that. Let's do a little research. But for sure, it's a 4-1 split. We know that. So if it's $100, then it would open up the next trading day at $25. But you would have 400 shares versus 100 shares. So you would have the same amount of shares. Now, what's awesome about that is this is going to open up a whole lot of new buyers, okay? There's some people who have been buying a lot of AMC that are going to be switching, and they'll also be able to afford now adding a lot of GameStop shares. I've always said I've been a believer in both of these stocks squeezing, and being able to buy more AMC shares gave me more options. And so the more options I have on a squeezing stock, then that's just what I preferred, okay? But that's my trading plan. You got to do your trading plan. Now, the GameStop is going to be, dropping significantly in price. And once again, it's still going to have the same value. It's just going to be acquiring new shares is going to be cheaper for people. So this is going to bring a lot more buying pressure into the stock. Bringing more buying pressure into the stock is going to be a very good thing for GameStop. Now, what I cautioned against on my Twitter is being careful about just rolling out of bed tomorrow morning, and full porting calls, or, buying a ton of shares or anything along those lines. You can see that the RSI and after hours is up here at 82. You can just scroll back and see anytime that RSI is getting up here into like the 86 or anything like that, even on the big moves, okay, then there's going to be some pullbacks. So for instance, right here, this little move right here translates to this. You got this pullback right here. Okay, so got zero problem with you if you want to buy some shares. I'm planning on buying some shares myself, but just make sure you wait for some good levels to be entering into your trade. I always try to teach that the best levels to enter your trade are going to be your Fibonacci retracements. So you could do one from right here. So, coming back down here to like the 119 range makes a lot of sense. And would you look at that? Even in after hours, still respecting the fibs, getting rejected off the 382 level. So, Excuse me. So coming down here to like the 0.5, if you want to look at a little bit more macro fib, of course you can come down here. So coming up in here, coming around and retesting this 382, so it's above the 382 here. So coming down and retesting around the 124. So all these going to be areas. So like I said, I've got zero problem with anybody, being excited and full porting and everything along those lines. Well, that's not true. I always have a problem with you full porting. But I have zero problem with you being excited. I have zero problem with you buying shares or buying calls or anything like that. Just make sure you do it at smart levels. Wait till your RSI cools off a little bit, and that's how you're going to win long term. So, going to try to keep this video relatively short. So if GME starts taking off, you'll be able to look at a lot of other meme stocks that are in the meme stock basket being able to take off as well. We'll wait on more information the closer we get. Like I said, the more information that we have. So once again, it's okay to be excited, but be smart, trade your plan, train with your brain, not with your emotions. And if this video is helpful to you, like I said, please like and subscribe, but trade your plan no matter what. Okay? And don't ever kid yourself. There's always going to be buyers and sellers at every single level. I know there's a ton of people out there who is just buy and hold is the way. And that's fine if that's your plan, okay? But there's going to be a lot of people out there that's not their plan, that's not their way. There will be buyers and sellers at every level, so you're always going to have the opportunity at a nice solid pullback, okay? Have a wonderful evening. See you guys tomorrow in the market. I hope you have a great day. Have a good one, my friends.